Welcome to the Hearse Whisperers, where we give you an inside look at life in the slow lane and talk openly about the death care industry. We're here to pull back the curtain on what really goes on behind the scenes in funeral service, from the heartfelt to the humorous, the traditional to the taboo. There's a lot of misunderstanding out there, but the more we talk about death and grief, the more empowered we become. We're glad you found us, so please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be the first to know when new episodes drop. Welcome back to the Hearse Whisperers. Today we're going to talk about the funeral theory, something trending right now, and our thoughts on it. But first, as always, we have some history/trivia local with Dave.
Yes. Northern New Jersey is full of history. Full of it. That's what people say about me. But today, we are going to talk about, again, at Cedar Lawn Cemetery in Paterson. Not many people know that one of the vice presidents of the United States is entombed there. And his name was Garret Hobart. And he was the vice president under William McKinley. He had his rise. He was a politician in New Jersey, and he wasn't well known outside of New Jersey, but apparently he was one of these guys that everybody liked.
Just a likable guy.
Likable guy. So, and he was in favor of the gold standard, because in the late 1800s, there was a big fight between, would you want the dollar based on gold or you want it based on silver? And people would say, who like gold, that gold's always going to be worth at least $1. Silver goes up and down. Hobart was a gold guy. Mm-hmm. So McKinley was a gold guy. So somebody said to McKinley, your party never has taken New Jersey in an election, I think in 50 years at the time. So why don't you try to get Garret Hobart on board, and he will be a great campaigner and make sure you take New Jersey. So they did, and he did. So Garret Hobart, he expanded the role of vice president like nobody ever had. McKinley couldn't have him on his cabinet meetings because he's vice president. I guess you can't be in on him. So, but after the cabinet meeting, McKinley would talk about everything with Garret Hobart. Apparently, Garret Hobart was McKinley's financial guy. All the money McKinley had, he would just give it to Hobart, and Hobart would invest it. So, he was quite the guy. So, 1898, there was some tension with Spain, and then you remember in 1898, the USS Maine blew up in Havana Harbor, and we went to war with Spain, and that was known as the Splendid Little War, because we just pretty much kicked Spain's butt very fast. And so as a result of that, we became a world power. And one of the prizes for beating Spain was the Philippine Islands. So McKinley didn't know where the Philippines were, so Hobart had to get the globe out and say, there they are right there. And we also got Puerto Rico and Cuba. No, not Cuba. I forget. Okay. I can't know everything. But so there was a movement to free the Philippines, just to set them free, to release any ties they had to the United States or Spain. And Garret Hobart, much like the mindset in those days, he said, well, actually, I think they'd be a lot better off if we improve them, westernize them, and gave them more culture. So he cast the deciding vote in Congress that the Philippines were not going to be free.
Oh, wow. So maybe not the most shining of legacy on that.
Yeah, but you can't put 2025 on 1898.
Right.
But it didn't turn out well.
Right.
The Philippines ended up being a horrible conflict with the United States. They wanted their independence.
Of course.
And how dare they?
Right.
But actually, I had read that waterboarding was invented during the Philippines.
Really?
Yeah, by us.
Of course.
So.
Right.
Yes. So anyway, we continue on here. But Hobart, he totally redid the role of vice president. He became consulted. He was very important in the administration.
Mhm.
So, and then in 1899, Garret Hobart died.
Mhm.
He had been sick. He went back to Paterson to recover, and he never recovered.
Well,
Yep.
so there he is
There it
in
is.
Cedar Lawn.
Yep, he's in Cedar Lawn Cemetery, and you can fast forward off of Garret Hobart and say, what happened after Garret Hobart? Who was vice president? Well, McKinley, back in those days, you didn't have to replace everybody right away. So he served out his term with no vice president. Imagine that.
Wow.
And there was a very boisterous little guy from New York who they wanted to get rid of and throw him in the vice presidency, and his name was Theodore Roosevelt.
Oh.
So then Roosevelt is vice president, and Roosevelt was the hero of San Juan Hill during the war with Spain. And McKinley went to like the World's Fair up in Buffalo, and McKinley was assassinated. So then all of a sudden Teddy Roosevelt or Theodore Roosevelt was president. Right. Oh. And that, as they say, is that.
That is history.
Yep. But so, I mean, really, there's just so much in a cemetery.
There's so much, and I think that that's really the takeaway. There's so much history in cemeteries, and not just, history of obviously famous people, leaders, presidents, all that, but history of just people, families, stories that, are just of everyday people. And there they are for eternity. Yep. So it's really good that you uncovered that.
And then they have that poem. I'm looking at this now. Garret Hobart, 1897-1899. And they always say the dash is your life.
Yeah. What are you going to do with your dash?
What are you going to do with your dash?
Yeah.
Yes.
What's
well
in your
said,
dash?
Michelle. Well
Thank
said.
you. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So let's talk about the funeral theory, which is apparently trending right now.
Yes.
And what is the funeral theory, you might ask? So the funeral theory in general is talking about what happens at your funeral and versus how you live your life. That's what my takeaway from this is. So in this funeral theory, they are saying, why are you trying to spend your life trying to live up to everybody else? Why are you trying to live up to expectations? You should do what you want to do. Be your own person. Like, don't be concerned about what other people think about you, because when it comes to your funeral, only a few people are going to cry.
Yeah.
Like, not everybody's going to come that you think would. In this article, it says half of potential guests might not arrive, half in quotes, like, don't know where they get that number from, due to inclement weather. So some people have had reactions like, this was very upsetting to think about, but then it freed them. Like, it made them feel like, you're right. Why am I worried? I should live my life how I want to now.
Well,
what do you think, Dave? Because I have some theories on this.
Sometimes you get deep thoughts. I just had a deep thought.
Go ahead.
I don't live my life for my funeral.
Right.
Because I'm not even going to be there.
Right.
So who cares if 1,000 people come or 2?
Right.
It's not going to affect me.
Not you, but it is for your family.
But I don't live my life for my funeral for my family. So I don't, there's, the old 101 thing.
Right.
There's theory 101. They kind of lost me.
Right.
So just because they say, what is it, 10 people? There's going to be 10 people crying at your funeral and that's it. How do they know?
Oh,
I mean, we've been on funerals and hundreds of people
crying. Okay, so let me just say where we got this information. This was from the Today Show, and it was Jesse Gomez, the executive director of Connecticut Funeral Directors Association. He is saying that he's overseen hundreds of services, as have we, and he doesn't want people to. He's cautioning against reading too deeply into the theory's numbers. So he's actually on the side of don't really think about this theory, because just because 100 people aren't crying doesn't mean people don't love you. Just because, you have a smaller turnout doesn't mean you're not worthwhile. So I think he's giving the funeral director perspective of a funeral, a memorial is still super valuable.
It's for the living.
It's for the living. It's for your remaining family to get together. And also, We talked about this in another episode, but like your famous saying of, if you don't have a funeral, if you don't have any gathering, people don't even know what to say
Yeah.
then when they see you.
Right.
Like,
you have to talk about it everywhere
you go, it's like,
Yeah.
how's so-and-so? Oh, well, they actually passed away. Nobody knew, right?
Yeah.
So I don't really know if I like this funeral theory very much, because I agree with you. Like, I like the idea that you should live your life how you want to. I like the idea of not thinking about people's thoughts of you.
Oh yeah. You go nuts with that.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not really. I'm good for worrying about what people think of me. I'll be honest. I am that kind of way. But I like the idea of being free, but not for your funeral. Like,
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
what do you think?
You think you don't do things. Well, there are people, and actually they're very happy, that don't care what anybody thinks. They just
I want to be
go
like
through.
that one day.
Someday. And every time you get like that, you think, what's everybody going to say?
Yeah.
So you just you don't. But
Yeah.
you can't live your life, and I don't live my life trying to make everybody happy, because you can't.
You can't.
No matter what you do, somebody's going to be mad or
Right.
just agree with you, and you know.
Right.
So to me, this sounds like another TikTok wonder.
Yeah, like another feel. I mean, like I said, I agree that the sentiment behind it, I think, is good. Stop worrying about what people think of you, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. That's, I think, what the core of it is.
Yeah.
But relating it to a funeral, I think it sets a bad tone, because then it's also like, well, who cares about your funeral?
Yeah.
Right? Like, who cares? It's feeding into the idea of like, we don't need to do this.
No.
That's the thing that I don't like about it.
And
personally.
And funerals are important. No matter how big the funeral is, how small the funeral is.
Right.
I remember one time we had a funeral and there was no one. I think there was a woman who lived to be like 102 or some, nice ripe old age like that. And there was literally no one. And I can't remember who arranged for the funeral, but we had a Catholic funeral mass at St. Luke's in Hohokus, and they had a early morning daily mass, and at the end of the mass, the priest asked everybody to stay for the funeral mass so they all could pray for this person. So it was just really very special, but it made the funeral a very important thing.
Yeah, right. It's definitely of value. Yeah. Not just only for the person who's passed, but like for the community, for the people.
Sure.
The people involved.
Yeah.
So.
And we always do it too. You no matter who passes away, they deserve a decent and dignified either burial or cremation or a service.
A service.
So
100%. So a funeral theory, not for it. Not for it.
Oh.
Sorry. Thank you for watching the Hearse Whisperers. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.